They said we were a nation of dust and despair, a forgotten corner of the world. But I told them to watch closely, 'cause we would forge our destiny, not with words, but with our own hands, brick by brick. Imagine a country in the heart of West Africa, landlocked with no coastline to call its own, a place where cracked, dusty roads stretch for miles, where dreams of progress once felt like distant fantasies, where hope was often buried beneath years of poverty, conflict, and chaos. This was Burkina Faso, just a few years ago. But what if I told you that in less than 3 years, this same country began rising faster than anyone could have imagined? From silent villages to buzzing cities, Burkina Faso is building a new future, brick by brick, dream by dream. This is the story of a bold young leader, a determined people, and a nation rewriting its destiny. Let's dive into this remarkable journey and discover why the rise of Burkina Faso is inspiring the world. A young leader with a bold vision at the heart of this transformation stands Captain Ibrahim Traoré, a young president who took power at the end of 2022. He wasn't here to make empty promises or deliver polished speeches. Instead, he brought something stronger, a vision, clear, unshakable belief that Burkina Faso could rise, that it could stand tall, that its people didn't need to rely on outsiders to build their future. He believed every citizen deserved to thrive, and that national pride should be earned, not inherited. Under Traoré's leadership, it wasn't about ceremonies or media hype, it was about results. In just a few short years, 25 major projects have been launched, projects that are not only transforming the nation, but also shocking the world. The skies open. Air Burkina takes flight. Picture this. October 2024. A plane painted in red, green, and yellow. The proud colors of Burkina Faso roars into the sky from Ouagadougou International Airport. This wasn't just a flight. It was a symbol, a message, a new beginning. For years, Air Burkina, the national airline, had been grounded, crippled by economic crisis, forgotten. But under Traoré's leadership, the airline came back to life. A brand new 190-seater aircraft, purchased for $19 million through quiet negotiations with China, took off for Dakar, then Bamako. There were no flashy events, no red carpets, no long speeches, just action, just results. And for the people watching that plane lift into the sky, it wasn't just about travel. It was about belief. Said Burkina Faso is back, and it's flying on its own terms. This wasn't just the revival of an airline, it was the return of a nation's confidence. It gave people wings to dream bigger, to reach farther. Cashews, turning nuts into national pride in the sun-baked lands of southern Burkina Faso. Something extraordinary is happening. A modern cashew processing factory hums with life. Its machines don't just crack nuts, they crack open a new future. Burkina Faso is one of the top cashew-growing countries in West Africa. For decades, it exported raw cashews and lost billions in profit to foreign processors. Local farmers worked hard, but saw little in return. President Traoré said, "Enough." So he built a factory not just to process cashews, but to process opportunity. This plant is projected to create 20,000 direct jobs and up to 50,000 indirect ones. Thousands of families lifted out of poverty. Now, farmers aren't just growing cashews. They're owning the process. They're producing finished goods. They're taking part in a system that keeps the profits in Burkina Faso. This isn't just about money. It's about dignity. It's about proving to the world that Burkina Faso can manage its own resources and build a future where its people, not outsiders, are the ones who benefit. A bank for the forgotten. Imagine living in a village where the nearest bank is hours away, and even if you make it there, they won't help someone like you. A farmer, a young entrepreneur, a woman with big dreams and no collateral. For millions, that was life. But on October 7th, 2024, that changed. That's when the Postal Bank of Burkina Faso (BPF) was launched. Ouagadougou, more than a bank. A lifeline. This isn't just a bank. It's a lifeline for people who had long been left behind. The idea for this bank had existed since 1988, but it took Traoré's relentless determination to make it a reality. With $25 million in starting capital, the Postal Bank of Burkina Faso (BPPF) finally opened its doors. But this isn't a bank chasing the rich. It's built for the forgotten: women, youth, farmers. It offers savings accounts, small loans, and simple financial services to those who never had access before. Whether it's launching a business, investing in a small plot of land, or simply saving for a child's future, this bank gives people a real start. President Traoré calls it the Bank of Empowerment. And for millions, it's nothing short of a quiet revolution, a message that says, you matter, your dreams are worth investing in. Weaving pride, a textile revolution in Burkina Faso. Wearing traditional clothes isn't just about fashion anymore, it's a statement of identity, of pride. Under Traoré's leadership, the textile and garment industries are booming in a way that's bold, unapologetic, and deeply rooted in culture. New factories are producing school uniforms, military gear, police outfits, and even the robes worn by lawyers in courtrooms, all stitched with Faso d'en Feni, a local fabric rich in cultural meaning. But Traoré went further. He banned second-hand clothing imports, ending a long habit of wearing the West's cast-offs. He replaced European-style courtroom wigs with traditional African attire, sending a powerful message: Burkina Faso is done copying others. This isn't just about what people wear, it's about how they see themselves. By reviving this once-forgotten industry, Traoré is helping his people weave their own story, one thread at a time, and wear their heritage with pride. A new gateway, Bobo Dioulasso Airport, rises in western Burkina Faso. The Bobo Dioulasso International Airport was once forgotten, small, outdated, barely used. But now, it's becoming one of West Africa's most important air hubs. Traoré announced a massive 80 billion CFA franc investment to completely modernize the airport. Plans include a new terminal that can handle 1.5 million passengers a year, upgraded runways, new surrounding roads. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a game changer. The new airport will position Bobo Dioulasso as a central hub for tourism, trade, and investment, putting Burkina Faso firmly on the global aviation map. Every brick laid here is part of a larger strategy to connect the country to the world, and to prove that even a landlocked nation can rise and soar. Farming with pride, a new era in agriculture. For decades, farming in Burkina Faso was seen as a last resort, a job for those with no other options. But President Traoré is changing that. He's transforming agriculture into a profession of pride and opportunity. In October 2024, his government launched a massive farming initiative, distributing over 400 tractors, motorcycles, water pumps, seeds, fertilizers, and crop protection products. But he didn't stop at handing out tools. He invested $200 million to train 20,000 young people in modern farming techniques, from smart irrigation to precision farm management. And after training, they weren't just left with knowledge. They were given land to start their own agribusinesses. Projects like floating, farming barges, and aquaculture systems are redefining what farming means in Burkina Faso. For Traoré, this isn't just about food. It's about the future. It's about giving young people a reason to stay in their villages and build real lives, rooted in the soil of their own homeland. A new airport for the capital, Ouagadougou International in Ouagadougou, the capital city. The old airport had become a burden, cramped, outdated, and unsafe. But not anymore. 35 kilometers northeast of the city, a new symbol is rising, Ouagadougou International Airport. This isn't just another airport, it's a statement, with a 35-kilometer runway, future expansion for 4 terminals, and a capacity of up to 1 million passengers annually. It's built to world-class standards. But what sets it apart? It's eco-friendly. Built with low-carbon concrete powered by a 25-megawatt solar plant with battery storage. This airport isn't just a place for planes to land. It's a gateway to a greener, stronger Burkina Faso. President Traoré didn't want a typical airport. He wanted a bold vision in concrete and steel, a place that says to the world, we are here, we are rising, we are doing it our way. A statement to the world, Burkina Faso stands ready with every bold move. President Traoré is sending a clear message. Burkina Faso is ready to face the world with confidence. A new alliance. The AES breaks free in January 2024. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger made a daring decision. They walked away from ECOWAS, the Western-backed regional economic bloc, and formed their own union, the Alliance of Sahel States. AES. This wasn't just politics, it was a declaration of independence. Tired of outdated systems that kept them dependent, these nations decided to chart their own path. And AUS? It's not just about defense, it's about building a new kind of future. Together, they're working on a shared bank, a stability fund, a biometric passport system, and a strong economy. Free from foreign control, Traoré and the other young leaders of AES don't waste time with speeches. They act. By breaking away from the old order, they're showing the world that even the smallest nations can stand on their own, with courage, unity, and vision. Homes for the displaced. A place to belong, war and poverty displaced thousands of families. In Burkina Faso, stripping them of homes, land, and a sense of belonging. Traoré knew that rebuilding a nation meant giving these people more than shelter, it meant giving them a place to call home. So he launched a rapid housing plan, 1,000 social homes in regions like Nori, Bla, and Basinko, built with over 5 billion CFA francs made of brick, cement, and steel, strong enough to last, but it didn't stop at homes. Roads, public spaces, and infrastructure are being developed alongside, turning these areas into real livable communities. For Traoré, it's not just about building houses, it's about restoring dignity. It's about giving people a reason to hope again. Roads to the future. 50,000 kilometers of progress for decades. Burkina Faso's roads told a story of struggle. From 1960 to 2022, only 3,600 kilometers of asphalt were built. Too many a paved road was a luxury. But Traoré changed that, setting a bold new goal. 50,000 kilometers of new asphalt roads, not built by outsiders, but by the people of Burkina Faso themselves. The government bought 900 pieces of construction, equipment, trained engineers and workers, and made road building a national mission. These roads aren't just for travel. They connect schools, hospitals, markets, and dreams. Every stretch of asphalt is a step toward a unified, modern nation, proving that Burkina Faso can build its own future with its own hands. A port. In the desert, Bobo Dioulasso dry port, being landlocked, has always been Burkina Faso's biggest challenge. Goods moved slowly. Imports were expensive. Foreign ports held the power. But not anymore. In Bobo Dioulasso, a massive $253 million dry port is rising. A logistics hub packed with warehouses, customs zones, specialized cargo terminals, this port will speed up trade, cut costs, and empower local businesses. But it's more than infrastructure. It's a shift in mindset. Instead of accepting their landlocked fate, Traoré built a port in the desert, proving that limits are only real if you accept them. Free education, unlocking a brighter future for generations. Millions of children in Burkina Faso grew up without books, without classrooms, without opportunity. Education was a dream few could afford. But in June 2024, Traoré flipped the script. He launched a 5-year plan to make education free from primary school to university. And this time, it wasn't just words. Hundreds of thousands of students are now learning without financial barriers. But free tuition was just the start. Over 250 schools in conflict zones have reopened. 44 new secondary schools are under construction, 39 university lecture halls, and 10 vocational training centers are being built, and the curriculum? It's been rebuilt, focusing on technical training, practical skills, and national pride. For Traoré education, isn't just about school. It's about equipping the next generation to change their lives and their country. Fueling freedom. The Tema oil port for a landlocked country like Burkina Faso, every drop of fuel used to be a struggle. Fueling freedom. The Tema oil port for years. Every drop of fuel in Burkina Faso came at a high price, literally and figuratively. Fuel had to make a long, expensive journey across multiple borders. Shortages were frequent. Price spikes were common. And the country had no control. But Traoré changed all that. In a bold move, he purchased the Tema oil port in Ghana for $70 million, giving landlocked Burkina Faso its own coastal facility for storing and distributing fuel. Alongside that, he built a hydrocarbon storage center in western Burkina Faso, capable of holding 104,000 cubic meters of fuel. Now, for the first time, the country has a steady supply, lower prices, and energy sovereignty. But for Traoré, this isn't just about fuel. It's about freedom. It's about giving the people the power to move forward on their own terms. A nuclear dream. Power for all today. Only 20% of Burkina Faso's population has access to electricity. For many, power is still a distant dream. But Traoré, ice and tea, thinking small. In July 2023, he signed a $4 billion agreement with Russia's Rosatom to build Burkina Faso's first nuclear power plant with a target completion date of 2030. The goal? To bring electricity to 90% of urban areas, 50% of rural communities. This means replacing outdated biofuels with clean, reliable nuclear energy. Russia is training Burkina workers, sharing technology, and helping educate the public about how nuclear power works. While wealthier countries hesitate, Burkina Faso is stepping forward, proving that even a small, developing nation can dream big, embrace science, and lead the way. Honoring the past, the Thomas Sankara Memorial in 1987. Revolutionary President Thomas Sankara was assassinated. For years, the place where he died stood empty, a painful reminder of what was lost. But President Traoré is transforming that space into something new. The Thomas Sankara Memorial, designed by renowned architect Francis Cura, spans 10,000 square meters. Crowned by a towering 87-meter monument, honoring Sankara and 4 other national heroes. This isn't just a memorial, it's a promise. A promise to carry forward Sankara's dream, a self-reliant, united Africa. By building this site, Traoré is reminding his people of their strength, and inspiring a new generation to keep fighting for a brighter, freer future. Caring for the elderly, a geriatric hospital in a world obsessed with youth. Traoré chose to honor the elders who built Burkina Faso. In Bobo-Dioulasso, the nation's first modern geriatric hospital is now under construction, dedicated to caring for seniors with dignity. The government also set aside 1.7 billion CFA francs to provide free medical checkups, medication, social support for over 95,000 retirees and their families. This isn't just about healthcare, it's about respect. Traoré knows. A country that forgets its elders has no future. By caring for them, he's showing that every citizen matters, no matter their age. Building strong. The Shanglongo cement plant in May 2025. The Shanglongo cement plant opened in central Burkina Faso. It produces a staggering 10,000 tons of cement per day, powering the nation's construction boom. This project, a joint venture with Chinese investors, runs on renewable energy and features modern emissions controls. It's creating thousands of jobs and reducing reliance on imported cement. For Traoré, this isn't just about construction, it's about independence. Every bag of cement made here is a symbol of sovereignty, proof that Burkina Faso can build its own future, with its own resources, and with pride. Driving the future, the Italo-electric car Burkina Faso was once dismissed as a technological backwater. Not anymore. From a factory in Ouagadougou, the nation unveiled its first electric car, the Italo, designed and built entirely by local engineers. Models like the Native and Sil can travel 330 kilometers on a 30-minute charge, with features like GPS, Bluetooth, solar charging. But Italo isn't just a car, it's a statement, a sign that Burkina Faso is no longer just exporting raw materials. It's creating technology, driving innovation, and shaping the future with its own hands. Connecting the nation, the Faza Railway, Burkina Faso's 45 provinces, were once disconnected by crumbling roads and slow, expensive transport. Trucks took days to carry goods, and opportunities stayed out of reach. But now Traoré is building The Faso Railway, a national rail system designed to reconnect the country. With passenger lines, crop and mineral transport routes, modern logistics hubs and stations, the Faso Railway will cut costs, accelerate trade, and bring regions closer together. This isn't just infrastructure, it's a lifeline, a railway built to unite a nation, move its people, and drive prosperity from one end of the country to the other. A railway, a lifeline. This isn't just a railway. It's a lifeline, steel veins stretching across the land, connecting people, goods, and dreams. It's the backbone of a modern, united Burkina Faso, from the most remote corners to the heart of the capital. This railway says one thing loud and clear. Every region matters. Every citizen belongs in the story of this nation. Clean water for all, a flow of dignity in many villages. Clean water was once a distant luxury. Children walked miles with buckets, and toilets were often nothing more than pits in the earth. But President Traoré is changing that quietly, steadily, and powerfully. With $48 million from the African Development Bank, his government is installing 60 mobile water systems, drilling 110 storage tanks, and building over 13,500 household toilets. This isn't just infrastructure, it's health, it's dignity. It's a declaration that every person, no matter where they live, has the right to safe water, to proper sanitation, to a life of pride and protection. A stadium reborn, a nation inspired. The August 4th Stadium in Ouagadougou once echoed with the energy of revolution. In 1983, Thomas Sankara stood there and called for change. Over time, the stadium crumbled, forgotten. But Traoré brought it back, renovated with 35,000 seats, an international standard pitch, and modern facilities. It has returned stronger than ever. Now, during festivals and matches, tens of thousands gather, not just to watch a game, but to sing, to cheer, to believe. This isn't just a stadium. It's the heart of Burkina Faso, where history, pride, and hope rise together. Gold stays home. Sovereign dream. Burkina Faso is rich in gold, but for years that gold left the country, taking the wealth with it. Not anymore. Since 2023, 2 major mines have been nationalized. A new state mining company, SFED Faso, was born, and with Russian support, a refinery now processes 150 tons of gold every year, creating over 5,000 jobs. This is more than economics. This is sovereignty. The message is clear: our gold, our future, our control. Healthcare for all, a promise of care for years. Specialized medical treatment meant leaving Burkina Faso. That ends now. Traoré's government is building a new healthcare system, strong, wide-reaching, and rooted in compassion. 2 university hospitals, one in Banfera with 500 beds, and another in Bobadou-Alasso with 300 are under construction. Add to that 15 mobile clinics, 55 community health centers, and 5 intensive care units. This isn't just about buildings. It's about a promise that no one will be left behind, that every citizen has the right to be cared for in their own land by their own people. A new Burkina Faso, the rising story of Africa. In just a few years, Burkina Faso has launched 25 transformative projects. Skies once silent now welcome plains. Fields once ignored now grow hope. Roads are being paved, factories built, futures imagined. President Traoré and his people aren't waiting for permission. They're not begging for aid. They're crafting a future with their own hands, powered by bold choices and unshakable belief. These aren't miracles. They're the results of vision, of courage, of sleepless nights, and relentless will. They prove one thing: even the smallest nation, when united and determined, can rise to greatness. So, what part of this journey spoke to you? Is it the cashew farmers standing proud? The children walking into new schools? It's a gold being refined at home? It's the sound of a train in a once-forgotten village? Whatever it was, this is Africa rising. Not through outside approval, but through its own strength, its own resolve. Join the movement. Share this story. Speak it loud. Goes. Burkina Faso's rise is a message to every African nation. We don't need permission to be great. We only need purpose. Thank you for being part of this journey. This is just the beginning. The next chapter of Burkina Faso's story is coming, and you'll want to be here for it. For it.